Welcome back to Primetime Local News. Josh and Bucky in studio. Pretty hectic sports weekend for athletes locally, not just in the Lloyd area, but competing outside of the region as well. We're going to start close to the region, though, or within the realms of the region, I guess, and to something that's dear to you, the Lloydminster Bandits. Their season, unfortunately, comes to an end in Killam. A bit of a wild one, to say the least.
Yeah, you know, every time they were down 3-1 going into that series on Saturday night, you look back to that series, and really a lot was said in Game 4. The Bandits win it overtime in Game 3 on that Monday. On Tuesday, they had a 3-1 lead after one, couldn't hold on to that lead, lost in overtime to Killam, and that gave Killam a 3-1 series lead. The Bandits win Tuesday night. I think that series is completely different. They're going to Killam. Hostile environment, as they like to say.
Hostile indeed.
Yeah, it got a little. It was 2-2 going into the third, so anybody's game in the third, and the Killam gets a couple of goals, and they go up by 2, and then it gets, as they say in hockey terms, it gets a little Western. Nothing out of the ordinary with the Killam crowd, but you know what? Regardless of that, a good young team. Only one player graduates, and that's Danton Brooks. He's the goalie, and he's 21, but you know, potential of every one of those players coming back for the team to get better. Probably there's going to be a few changes here and there, but look for the Bandits to be a team that is reckoned with. I think they have to solidify a few things in the back end. Up front, pretty good, but yeah, hopefully some lessons learned.
Yeah, I'm sure there's definitely some lessons learned of how to play in a hostile environment like they had, without getting into some of the specifics. But with Danton Brooks leaving, that does leave a gaping hole in the middle. And do you think Eric Cook is up to the challenge if he's the guy?
Hard to say. I think Eric's going to look at his options in Junior A. You know, he's only a 17-year-old, so he has some options at Junior A, and he's going to look at those. Yeah, goaltending is going to be somewhat of an area of concern, and you know, with Michael Clegg on board for the next few years, he'll sign a contract extension, and look for him to try to find somebody to fill in for Brooksy.
Now, further away from Lloydminster, we had the Lakeland Rustlers, rather, women's volleyball team competing at the conference championships at Ambrose University in Calgary. I was actually able to be there for part of the championship, and so I was able to see a high and a low. The low, of course, coming with a semifinal loss to the Briarcrest Clippers. They do not get a chance at 3 straight titles and 3 straight shots at a national championship. And then they do follow up with a good effort on the Saturday to win bronze. A bit of a disappointment, obviously, for the girls, but they played 3 really tough matches over the course of the weekend. Yeah,
and that's what you want to do. You came ready to play. The ball goes a different kind of way against Briarcrest. You get a couple of calls that maybe went against Lakeland, goes their way. It's a different outcome, and they're playing for a provincial championship again. Regardless of that, 2 straight provincial championships, looking for a third. It wasn't meant to be for them, but you know, hearing everything about Friday's game was an exciting game and a good win against the host team. So, you know what, the Dyer boys on the boys' side and the guys' side, or on the girls' side of things, doing a great job with the volleyball programs, and look for the women's program to be right back to where they were this season. Indeed,
that's one of the things that's been talked a little bit. We've spent a lot of time on, obviously, the 3 girls that are graduating: Ray Sigurdson, Annika Koos, and Shelby Becker. You know, 3 fifth-year players are going to be very tough to replace, but they're all pretty excited about what is in the pipeline with this team. Janae Varga, who redshirted this year, should be good. And a couple of recruits that come in with some athleticism as well.
Well, we had Alan Rogan on here around Christmas time, and he talked about the success on the court has really developed into a great recruiting tool, and look for the Dyers to bring in great players for both the men's and the women's volleyball teams for next season.
Also, of course, exciting news that there's a couple of all-conference awards for the men's volleyball team, as well as Ray Sigurdson winning Player of the Year. So, exciting year for the team. Not quite the medal they wanted, but still a success on some level nonetheless. We'll have more on Primetime Local News later this hour.